Okay, so get this.
Uh-huh.
We've got this podcast all about like the future of AI.
Right.
And
Yeah.
one of the experts says that their 7-year-old daughter
Yeah.
is already using AI to make like custom coloring pages.
Really?
I don't even know if I could do that.
It's amazing how quickly all of this technology is becoming accessible to everyone.
Right.
What's so fascinating to me
Yeah.
is that this isn't just about like
Right.
kids having fun.
Right.
This ease of use is like
Yeah.
completely changing the landscape of like the future of work.
Right.
Especially in fields like marketing, as your sources point out.
So we're doing a deep dive today
Okay.
into your stack of articles
Sounds good.
and a podcast discussion with
Yes.
a bunch of AI and marketing leaders.
Yeah.
And the big takeaway, AI isn't just coming for our jobs.
Right.
It's changing
It's changing the entire
how we work,
landscape.
like right now.
I mean, right now. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
That's the core insight from those marketing experts.
Yeah.
Like they're seeing these AI tools boost efficiency to the point where companies can do more with smaller teams.
Yeah.
So it's not just theoretical anymore.
Right.
It's happening now.
And like it's making me think,
Yeah.
if I was in marketing,
Right.
what skills would I need
Exactly.
even keep up?
Like how do you stay relevant?
Yeah.
A recent Microsoft study actually found that
Interesting.
knowing how to use AI is becoming more valuable to employers than traditional experience.
So,
It's not about years on the job anymore.
okay.
It's about how you're leveraging these new tools.
So learning AI is almost like a must-have,
I think so.
even if you're not like a coder.
Yeah, the experts
Yeah.
really hammered home that point.
Okay.
He said, it's not about becoming a programmer.
Right.
It's about understanding the capabilities of these tools
Yeah.
and finding ways to integrate them into your workflow.
Which brings us back to that 7-year-old
Right.
making unicorn coloring pages.
If a kid can do it,
Right.
maybe it's not as intimidating as it seems.
Exactly.
Tools like ChatGPT are becoming so user-friendly.
Right.
The barrier to entry for learning AI is incredibly low.
Yeah.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
Just a few years ago, we were amazed by self-driving cars.
Right.
Now we have AI that can write,
Yeah.
AI that can translate,
Uh-huh.
and even generate images.
Yeah.
And it's readily available to almost anyone.
Okay, so we've got people using AI to work smarter.
Right.
We know that learning it isn't as scary as we thought.
Yeah.
But who's building all this tech?
Right.
Is there a clear leader in
Yeah.
this whole AI race?
Yeah, it's definitely a race.
Yeah.
And for a while, OpenAI seemed to be out in front
Okay.
with ChatGPT,
Right.
just constantly pushing the boundaries of what AI could do.
Yeah.
But the landscape is shifting so rapidly.
Oh, really?
Google, for instance, has
Gotcha.
just launched.
So is Gemini like Google's answer to
It is
yes,
ChatGPT.
but it's much more powerful
Oh, wow.
in terms of what it can handle.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah.
Gemini can process 1 million tokens of information at once.
Now, what's a token?
Sure.
I feel like I should know this.
But imagine words or like small chunks of text.
Okay.
1 million tokens could be the equivalent of an entire novel.
Wow.
So Gemini can remember
That's crazy.
and process that amount of information, which makes for much more nuanced
Yeah.
and sophisticated interactions.
Yeah.
Imagine having a conversation with an AI
Right.
that has read all the books in your library
Okay.
and can draw connections between them,
Whoa, that's next level.
right?
But Google's not the only one in this race, right?
Of course not.
Didn't you say that Meta was making moves too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're taking a slightly different approach,
Okay.
focusing more on the social aspects of AI.
Okay.
Think about those Ray-Ban smart glasses
Right.
with built-in AI. Yeah.
They can make calls,
Uh-huh.
send messages,
Right.
and even anticipate your needs
Wow.
based on your past interactions.
It's like having a tiny AI assistant
Right.
whispering in your ear all day.
Pretty much.
But is that a bit creepy?
That's one of the big questions
Yeah.
surrounding AI.
Yeah.
Where's the line between helpful and intrusive?
Yeah. Meta's argument is that
Okay.
by knowing you better,
Right.
their AI can make your life easier
Yeah.
and more connected.
Okay.
But it does raise concerns about privacy and data control.
So we've got OpenAI
Right.
pushing the boundaries of what AI can do.
Exactly.
We've got Google aiming to integrate AI into every aspect of our digital lives.
Pretty much.
And we've got Meta focusing on AI for social connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like 3 different visions of the future
Yeah.
battling it out.
And don't forget,
Yeah.
there are countless other companies and startups
Yeah.
in this race,
Yeah.
each with their own unique ideas about how AI can be used.
It's a wild,
Yeah.
rapidly evolving landscape.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep up.
But hold on. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Sure.
the experts on your podcast
Right.
really emphasize this one point.
Okay.
This isn't just about technology.
Right.
It's about what this means for us.
Of course.
Like our jobs,
Right.
our relationships,
Yeah.
even our sense of what it means to be human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the core of the matter.
Uh-huh.
We can marvel at the technology,
Right.
but we can't ignore the potential impact on our lives.
Right.
And that's what we'll explore in part 2.
Okay.
How AI is changing the way we work,
Okay.
the skills we need,
Yeah.
and the choices we'll have to make in this new world.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome back to our deep dive.
Last time we were talking about all these different visions of the future,
Right.
OpenAI pushing the raw technology, Google aiming for integration, and Meta
Right.
focusing on social connections.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's almost like they're each like placing a bet
Yeah.
on what's going to be the killer app for AI.
And what's fascinating
Right.
is how quickly these bets are playing out.
Absolutely.
Remember how we were just discussing
Oh, yeah.
Google's Gemini
Yep.
and its ability to handle massive amounts of information?
I think credit.
But that million tokens thing.
Yeah.
Like it can process a whole novel at once.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
We're just a few weeks ago.
Really?
Google announced that they've been testing Gemini with 10 million tokens.
10 million.
10 million tokens.
That's like an entire encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's wild.
But what's interesting here
Yeah.
is that this isn't just about like bragging rights.
Right.
The scale of information
Okay.
that Gemini can process
Uh-huh.
allows it to understand these complex relationships
Okay.
between ideas
Yeah.
in a way that previous AI just couldn't.
So it's not just about remembering a lot of facts.
Yeah.
It's about actually understanding them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
making connections,
Right. Yeah.
seeing the bigger picture.
Okay. So that's pretty wild.
And that's a huge leap forward.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
This kind of AI could help us
Uh-huh.
solve problems that have stumped humans for centuries,
Okay.
like curing diseases
Right.
or tackling climate change.
Okay. That's the optimistic view.
I think so.
But earlier,
Yeah.
you also mentioned those Ray-Ban smart glasses.
Right.
With AI.
Yeah.
And I have to admit,
Sure.
that still feels a bit unsettling to me.
I understand.
Like, is this leading to a world where we're constantly being monitored and analyzed?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And one that the experts in your podcast
Yeah.
also brought up.
Okay.
Like, the more personalized AI becomes,
Right.
the more data it needs about us,
Yeah.
our habits,
Right.
our preferences.
Yeah. Even our emotions.
Exactly.
And that raises questions about who controls that data
Right.
and how it's being used.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about
Right.
whether the AI is good or bad.
Of course not.
It's about how it's implemented.
Exactly.
Who has access to it.
Yeah.
And what kind of safeguards are in place.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's why we can't just focus on the cool tech
Yeah.
and ignore the potential downsides.
Right.
And it's not just Meta. We need to be thinking about Google with its vast reach across search,
Right.
email maps,
Right.
and so many other services,
Uh-huh.
has the potential to integrate AI into almost every aspect
Yeah.
of our digital lives.
Which on one hand
Yeah.
could be incredibly convenient.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine your AI
Yeah.
automatically filtering out spam,
Uh-huh.
scheduling appointments,
Right.
even composing emails for you.
It would save so much time.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
it's a lot of power concentrated
Right.
in one company.
And that's why
Yeah.
it's crucial to have these conversations now,
Okay.
to consider the potential implications
Yeah.
and to demand transparency and accountability
Right.
from the companies developing this technology.
So we've got Google pushing integration.
Right.
We've got Meta pushing social connection.
Uh-huh.
But what about OpenAI?
Yeah.
Didn't they kind of fall behind in this race?
They haven't stopped innovating.
Oh, really?
Remember Sora, their video generation AI,
Oh, yeah.
the one that made those crazy realistic videos?
The dog riding the skateboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a game changer.
Okay.
It showed that AI can now create content
Uh-huh.
that's virtually indistinguishable from reality.
which is mind-blowing on one level,
Oh, absolutely.
but also kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, how do we know
Right.
what's real anymore?
That's the challenge, isn't it? As AI gets better at mimicking reality,
Right.
we need to become more discerning consumers of information, more critical thinkers. We need to develop the skills
Okay. Hey.
to question what we see,
Right.
to verify sources,
Yeah.
to separate fact from fiction.
So it's not just about the tech itself.
Right.
It's about how we adapt to it,
Exactly.
how we learn to use it
Yeah,
responsibly and ethically.
absolutely.
It almost feels like we're entering a new era of media literacy,
I think so.
where understanding AI is just as important
It's incredibly important.
as knowing how to read and write.
And it goes beyond just consuming information.
Yeah.
Think about how AI is changing
Okay.
the way we create things.
Right.
Artists, musicians, writers,
Yeah.
they're all starting to use AI as a tool
Okay.
for expression and collaboration.
So instead of replacing human creativity,
Right.
AI is actually becoming like
Yeah.
a new form of creative partner.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's where things get really exciting.
Oh, okay.
We're only just beginning to scratch the surface
Yeah.
of what's possible. When humans and AI work together,
Okay, that gives me a little more hope.
good.
But there's still that big question looming.
Of course. What about the jobs?
Right.
Are we all going to be replaced by robots?
The experts in your podcast tackled this head on.
Okay.
They acknowledge that some jobs,
Yeah.
especially those involving repetitive tasks,
Right.
are vulnerable to automation,
Okay.
but they also emphasize that AI is creating new opportunities,
Okay.
new industries,
Right.
even new job categories we haven't even thought of yet.
So it's not just about losing jobs.
Yes.
It's about a shift
It's about a shift.
in the job market.
Exactly. And
Okay.
it's about recognizing which skills
Right.
will be most valuable
Yeah.
in this new landscape.
Like what?
Remember that Microsoft study we talked about?
Yeah.
It highlighted the growing importance of AI literacy,
Right.
but it also emphasized
Uh-huh.
the need for uniquely human skills.
Like what? Give me some examples. Things like critical thinking,
Okay.
problem solving,
Right.
creativity,
Yeah.
empathy,
Uh-huh.
communication.
Collaboration.
These are the skills
Yeah.
that machines struggle to replicate.
So it's not just about being smart.
Right.
It's about being human.
Exactly.
But how do we develop those skills?
It's a good question.
Is it something you can learn in school?
Yeah.
Or is it more about life experience?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Education definitely plays a role, but so does continuous learning,
Right.
experimentation,
Yeah.
and exposure to different perspectives.
Okay.
And that's something we'll explore in more detail
Okay.
in part 3.
Sounds good.
How to prepare for this AI-powered future,
Yeah.
both professionally and personally.
All right. Welcome back. You know,
Yeah.
in the last 2 parts, we've covered a lot of ground,
Yeah, we have.
from talking robots to smart glasses
Right.
and AI that can practically write novels.
wild.
But honestly, I'm still processing all of this.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
It really is.
This whole AI revolution,
Right.
it's happening so fast.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap your head around it.
It can be tough to keep up,
Yeah.
for sure.
And it's not just the tech itself.
Right.
It's the implications for jobs,
Yeah.
for relationships,
Yeah.
even the definition of
Yeah.
what it means to be human.
It's a big question.
It's a bit overwhelming,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's understandable to feel that way.
So how do we do that?
Yeah.
Where do we even start?
That's the question.
It feels like there's so much information out there. It's hard to know what to focus on.
The experts had some really practical advice
Okay.
on that front.
Right.
They said, first and foremost,
Yeah.
be curious.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from this stuff
Uh-huh.
just because it seems complex.
Right.
There are tons of resources available,
Yeah.
even for people with no technical background.
I've noticed that there are articles,
Uh-huh.
videos, even entire courses
Yeah.
dedicated to explaining AI
Right.
in a way that anyone can understand.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
That's a great point.
Try out ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Play with Dolly.
Uh-huh.
See what these tools can do firsthand.
Right.
It's the best way to demystify them and understand their potential.
I think so too.
It's like once you start using these tools,
Uh-huh.
you realize they're not as magical
Right.
or as scary as they seem. They're just tools,
Yeah.
like any other.
And just like any tool,
Right.
they can be used for good or for ill.
Okay.
That's why it's so important to think critically
Yeah.
about how AI is being implemented
Uh-huh.
and to advocate for ethical development and use...
So stay informed.
Yeah.
Be curious. Experiment with the tools.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
But what about the bigger picture?
Okay.
What about those fears of job displacement and AI taking over the world?
Right. Those big existential questions.
How do we grapple with those?
The experts emphasize that.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring those fears,
Okay.
but about addressing them head on.
All right.
Acknowledge the potential downside,
Right.
but also recognize the opportunities
Yeah.
that AI is creating.
Like those new job categories.
Exactly.
That you mentioned earlier.
There's a growing demand for people who can build,
Right.
implement,
Uh-huh.
and manage AI systems.
Okay.
And there's also a need for people who can bridge the gap
Okay.
between technology
Right.
and the human experience.
Yeah.
Think about AI trainers,
Okay.
ethicists,
Uh-huh.
even therapists
Wow.
who specialize in helping people navigate
Okay.
the emotional challenges of this new world.
So it's not just about STEM skills.
Right.
It's about combining technical expertise with human understanding.
And that's where those uniquely human skills come in.
Yeah.
Empathy, communication, critical thinking,
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah, you've mentioned those skills
Right.
a couple times now.
I have.
And I'm starting to see the connection.
Yeah.
If AI is good at automating tasks, then we need to focus on the things that AI can't do.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where humans and AI can complement each other.
Okay.
But we can work together
Yeah.
to achieve things that
Yeah.
neither of us could do alone.
So instead of fearing AI,
Right.
we should be thinking about how to partner with it.
That's the mindset shift we need to make.
Okay.
It's not about humans versus machines.
Right.
It's about humans and machines working together
Yeah.
to create a better future.
Okay. That's a much more optimistic way
I think so.
to look at things.
Yeah.
But it still feels like a big challenge.
Of course.
How do we prepare
Right.
for a future that's so uncertain,
Yeah.
where the rules are constantly changing?
The experts had some great advice there. They said focus on becoming a lifelong learner.
Okay.
Embrace change.
Yeah.
Be adaptable.
Right.
And never stop learning and growing.
So it's not just about acquiring specific skills. It's about developing a mindset
Yeah.
of continuous learning and adaptability.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the only certainty in this AI-powered future
Right.
is that things will keep changing,
Yeah.
and we need to be prepared to evolve.
Yeah. After going through all of this, I have to say I'm feeling a lot less overwhelmed and a lot more excited
That's great to hear.
about the possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation.
Right.
We'll be here to keep exploring these topics.
Okay.
To keep asking those tough questions.
Yeah.
And to help you navigate
Yeah.
the ever-evolving world of AI.
Well, there you have it.
Right.
A deep dive into the world of AI.
Yeah.
From the mind-blowing tech to the profound implications for humanity.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground. But one thing's for sure, this is a topic that's going to keep us all talking, thinking, and evolving.
Years to come.
Years to come.
And on that note, this is the Deep Dive signing off.